Well, good morning, my friend, or I should say good afternoon to most people. Welcome to the Pastor's Podcast. I am in New Mexico right now, so I've been traveling all morning, just got into my room, and good to have you along with me today. Sorry coming along just a little bit later. I'm preaching today, tonight, and tomorrow at the True Light Baptist Church in Los Lunas, New Mexico, which is just outside of the Albuquerque area. Be here for tonight and tomorrow night, 7 o'clock each night. Encourage you, if you're in the area, to come. Pastor Matt Wooten been a good friend of mine for years. I've known him since he was in high school, I believe it is. That's how long it's been. And we have been good friends all these years, getting to preach for him the next couple of days. And I'm excited about that. And I'd encourage you now, if you're in the area, you come. Hope you had a good day yesterday in your services. We had a wonderful day. Summertime is here, but God's still blessing souls, saved people, baptized people, joining the church. It's always a good thing. Always enjoy this, just to be able to see what God can do in our lives. If we just go all out for Christ, boy, he wants to help us, and he will if we just keep on going soul winning. Well, today, let's talk about the power of unity. In Genesis chapter 11 and verse 6, the scripture says, "And the Lord said, Behold, the people is one. They have all one language. This they begin to do, and now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do." Now, the key to not letting anything restrain you from building something for God is to be unified in what you're doing. Now, these people were unified in building a tower to heaven. Though their intentions were wrong, the fact that they were unified with a cause as one people and one language gave them the power to work together to build such a great edifice. Now, had these people been disorganized and divisive, they'd have never succeeded at building this building to the extent until God stepped in and stopped it. Now, the greatest work that anyone can do is the work of God. Sadly, too many people are divided because of opinions and preferences, which keeps God's work from becoming a great work. Imagine what every church would become if every church were as unified as these people were in building the Tower of Babel. Imagine how many souls would be saved if every church laid aside their preferences and opinions and organize themselves to do a great work for God. Now, one of the greatest hindrances to any local church is disharmony amongst God's people. I promise you, your pastor, he does everything he can to get people to get along. Now, I want to share with you what allowed these people in this passage to be as one so that nothing could restrain them. First, they had a common vision. These people all had the same vision of building a tower to heaven. Now, imagine if God's people could get a vision for reaching the lost. It would be easy to lay aside anything that would cause division. You'll never build anything great without everyone having the same vision. You cannot build something great without a vision, but you also cannot build something great if you have a divided vision. The vision of the church ought to be the Great Commission. That's what we can rally around. And when we rally around the Great Commission, if we make that our vision, you'll be surprised how we can build something for God because we're rallying around that common vision. Second, they were organized. It's much easier to build something great when you're organized than it is when you're disorganized. Organization is what allows you to go further in your cause. Disorganization steals time from the work that needs to be accomplished. Organization gives more time to do what needs to be done. Now, a church will only go as far as its organization. So I have found that one of the greatest ways to organize a church is through the Sunday school. So when a church is organized itself through the Sunday school, it organizes its soul winning program, bus ministry, all the outreach through the Sunday school, it'll find itself much easier to handle the growth that God gives to it. Third, they focused on the great work. Now, these people that built the Tower of Babel certainly have their own opinions and preferences. but they laid those opinions and preferences aside because they stayed focused on the work at hand. Now, my friend, the only reason that opinions and preferences cause divisions is because we lose focus on what we're doing. When everyone stays focused on what we're doing for God, I'm telling you, our preferences and opinions won't really matter. Unity is discovered as we serve for the common cause of reaching the lost for Christ. Now, the greatest work in all the world is the work of reaching the lost for Christ. That's done through the local church. There's no room for division in our local church because it only slows the cause of reaching the lost before they go to hell. Now, I want to make something very clear. I'm not talking about one church getting along with another church. I'm not talking about that. Although I think that'd be a good thing as long as you don't compromise. But that's not what God's interested in. God's interested in the local church, the individual church being unified together as they go to reach the lost for Christ. If we can get people who will stay unified on what we're supposed to be doing, lay your preferences, your opinions aside. Stop, listen to me, stop giving all your opinions. Well, I just don't agree with this, okay? When you become the pastor and you pastor a church, you can do things your way. But until then, you got to understand, you going around barking your little opinion somewhere is going to ruin your church. And you're going to cause heartache to the church that you love. So the best thing to do, if you got a problem, take it to God. Let God care for it. If you really think you need to talk to the pastor, ladies, then you talk to your husband. Let your husband go to the pastor. And men, if you feel like you need, go ahead, talk. Be respectful, but talk. But in the meantime, I'll be honest with this. If we would just rally around, let's get organized and get a vision to reach the lost for Jesus Christ. Lay aside preference and opinion. We could do a lot of work for Christ. We could reach our areas for Christ. We could reach the lost. If somebody would just say, let's get organized. Let's do our best to reach people for Jesus Christ. Keep your focus on reaching the lost. If everybody does that, we can get along with each other. Well, I hope this is a great help to you today. Now, let's remember today, be good to everyone. Everyone's having a tough time. Have a great day, my friend.